Liverpool FC is hard as hell. United, Tottenham, Arsenal. Watch my list, and I will spell.
Yeah, good morning. This is Gandalf the Red. You might have been following me for the last few weeks, maybe the last few months, and perhaps you are one of those unfortunate people who's been with me for the entire year since I joined Twitter. Now, I'll let you in on a little confession. I generally have been against social media during most of my life. I have been on Twitter for a year, or X, as they call it now. I've been on Facebook for about 18 months, and I've had WhatsApp for only about 2 years. Okay, so generally speaking, I do not like to move with the times. But over the last year, I've had just a little bit more time on my hands for various reasons. So therefore, I joined Twitter just to keep a little bit more connected to the football community, especially my fellow Liverpool fans. Okay. Now, one of the things that I have discovered about social media over my 12 months on this platform, Twitter I'm talking about, is that because of the limitation on characters, because of the limitation on words, it is quite hard to explain things that are nuanced or that have clauses or caveats, or they have many layers to them. Okay, so in the world of football, uh, there are simple things, how many goals you score, who won, who lost. But there's also narratives behind that. There's psychology. There's stats that are deeper than the score. People are obsessed with XG at the moment. So a lot of things are quite nuanced and they're quite layered in the world of football. But it's very, very hard to get this across in a Twitter post. Okay, so because I'm stuck at home today because of the snow, I just thought I'd do a very short video on Arsenal versus Liverpool yesterday evening, which ended in a goalless draw. I thought I would give you my thoughts for what they are worth. Now, anyone who's been following my social media posts for the last 4 or 5 days will tell you that I have been remarkably confident about this Arsenal game. And I was one of the few Liverpool fans that was confident about it. Some of the other people that I follow were basically expecting a cricket score. They were expecting Arsenal to get an early corner, an early goal, and then it was just going to be a question of an avalanche. How many would Arsenal score? Now, I was absolutely convinced that would not happen. The reason is that it is all very well talking about the manager, okay, and some of the things that he's done this season, which we do not agree with. But the fact remains that when people try to play football through the Liverpool midfield, this is the type of game that suits Arne Slot. He likes people to do this. And the reason I was so confident about this game was simply because the most similar games to this Arsenal game that we have had in the last few months was Real Madrid, where they tried to play through us. And then Unai Emery with Aston Villa, I think 4 days later, tried to do the same thing. So he tried to do, I don't think it was a good idea. He tried to do what Real Madrid, who were a far better team than Aston Villa, were unable to do 4 days earlier. So I was absolutely certain that Arsenal, being at home, they simply could not do what a lot of teams have done to Liverpool, where they basically have a low block and then they press in such a way where the ball is left with Ibrahima Konate. Okay, so Arsenal could not play like that at home. The crowd would get on their back, and it would be nationally considered very embarrassing that you're going for the title and playing a low block at home. So when you look at it like that, Arsenal had to play through us, which is what Arne Slot likes. They tried to play through us. They were unable to play through us for the most part, and therefore Liverpool were able to essentially shut them down through the middle, shut them down on the wings. And okay, people make fun of Gyökeres. He's had a very poor start considering the transfer fee that Arsenal paid. But ultimately, he did not get any touches of the ball, partially because Arsenal was shut down on the flanks and they were shut down on midfield. And this is the type of game that Arne Slot is, despite the way this season has gone, very good at. Now, they say possession is 9/10 of the law. Okay, now I don't think it applies to football as such, but one of the things about possession, it sounds very stupid, very basic to say it, but the thing about possession of the ball is when you have possession of the ball, you can't concede. And people may say that's obvious. It is obvious, but it's worth reiterating because if you look at the great teams in history, so if you look at Pep Guardiola's Barcelona team, for example, they usually had the ball between 60 and 65% of the time. So what that means is the opposition have the ball for 35% of the time, and probably half of that 35%, which is 17.5%, would probably be the back four just passing it around. So in the course of a 90-minute match, Pep Guardiola's Barcelona would only face uh, for 17% of the match any attacks that they'd have to deal with. So essentially, possession, even though it isn't 9/10 of the law, as they say in the British legal system, what we have here is we have a situation where Liverpool uh, had the majority of possession last night. Okay, so overall it was 53 to 47%, which is an excellent achievement away from home for a team that is not only top of the Premier League, but they are top of the Champions League group. This is something that needs to be borne in mind. And then in the second half, it was even more ridiculous, where Liverpool had 66% possession compared to Arsenal's 34. And it is considered that that is probably one of the lowest possession stats that Arsenal have ever had in any half of football since the beginning of the Premier League. Okay, and what we know is about the away teams that go to the Emirates. It was 207 Liverpool passes in the second half away at Arsenal, which is the most of any team in any half of football in the last 5 Premier League seasons. Okay, so Liverpool dominated the ball, and this is something that Liverpool have not always done. I know that their possession stats are quite high, but a lot of it has been pretty aimless. Even yesterday, some of it was not cutting edge possession. But I don't think yesterday was about cutting edge possession. Yesterday was just about nullifying Arsenal, keeping the ball, and making sure we absolutely do not lose. Because with City drawing the night before, I think Arsenal fans were in party mood. And I think they saw yesterday as if we win, we are going to win the title. So it was a little bit like when Chelsea went to Liverpool in 2014, and Jose Mourinho famously said to his Chelsea players, they are on the verge of winning the title. They want a circus here, so do not be the clowns at the circus. That is the advice that Mourinho gave. And yesterday, I think they were in party mood, the Arsenal fans. I don't know whether the Arsenal players were in that mood. I don't know them personally. But it was quite clear that they were in party mood, and Liverpool refused to be the clowns at the circus. And that was the main purpose of yesterday, to get out of there, having not allowed Arsenal to secure the title in early January. Now, just a quick word on who was outstanding yesterday for Liverpool, and perhaps we might even touch on Arsenal, okay? But my focus is usually Liverpool. So, what I would say about yesterday is the thing that impressed me the most. There were three players that I thought were absolutely outstanding. Now, Saka got the better of Kirkes for the first 10 or 12 minutes. He went past him a couple of times. He caused a number of problems, and I thought this is going to be a long evening for the young Hungarian. But I think, I don't know what number game it is for Kirkes. He might have played 10 games for Liverpool, maybe 12, maybe 15. I'm not entirely sure. But I think that was his best game in the Liverpool shirt, because Saka had a fantastic start. He had the crowd behind him. City had drawn the night before. Arsenal were pumped up. But from about the 15-minute mark, Kirkes was absolutely excellent. And I think that is his best defensive performance in a Liverpool shirt, although we do need a little bit more from him going forward. Now, when it comes to Frimpong, I thought he had not a magnificent game, but I really, really like his directness. He's a very direct player. He picks up the ball and he just starts running forward. He starts running at people. He tries to go past people. And I think this is very different from a lot of the Liverpool squad, which are quite functional players. They're mostly athletes. They tend to take the easy pass whenever they can. Frimpong, I thought yesterday, cut through a number of times, and he just needs to work on his final ball. And I think he could be, a very, very good player considering what we paid for him. Although in his defense, he would say, well, we weren't playing the centre forwards. We had no Ekatike, we had no Isak. So therefore, who exactly am I supposed to cross to? I'm not going to cross it into to Florian Wirtz towering in at the back post, am I? So that is something that I think is fair enough. But I think he had a good game. I think Kirk has had a good game, and I thought deservedly Shabazz was given man of the match. I really thought yesterday people might find it a very unusual comparison, but what he reminded me of was the days of Roberto Firmino, because what Firmino used to do was he used to essentially sit between the centre back and the defensive midfielder. Okay, so he was essentially giving the centre back the choice. He was saying, look, I am not a centre forward, I'm not a traditional number 9, I'm not Alan Shearer, so you can't mark me in the traditional sense. I'm going to drift away from you, and then you have a choice. You either follow me into areas where probably the DM is supposed to be covering me. And if he does that, there's going to be a gap behind him. Or you let me go and I'll just do what I want. So this is the choice that Firmino used to give opposition centre backs. That is exactly what Shabazlai did yesterday. So he basically played in front of the centre backs. He would get the ball from Wirtz, give it back to Wirtz, and they were just playing these little triangles in the second half where it almost looked like a training match where Liverpool weren't even trying to score. It was very strange to see. But like I said, yesterday was just about getting the point and getting the hell out of there. So I thought Kirk's best display in the Liverpool shirt. Frimpong, his pace is something very special. I think Liverpool need to find a way of harnessing this pace, turning it into something really useful. I've got this feeling Frimpong is gonna do something in the Champions League and an away leg when we play on the break. Okay, so watch out for that. So overall, a satisfactory evening for Liverpool, I would say. So if we just draw the camera back and look at the big picture, where are we today as we sit? Now, there are Liverpool fans online today. I'm a little bit surprised saying things like Liverpool are back. I've seen that tweet. I've also seen a tweet where somebody has said this proves Arne Slot is an elite manager up there with the best of them. Now, I don't think we are there yet. I don't think we're anywhere near there yet to say Liverpool are back or Arne Slot is a world-class manager. I don't think we are there yet. I think where we are is that we were basically losing 3 goals every 4 days. Okay, we lost a number of games in a row. I think 5 domestic games in a row. We lost to Crystal Palace. We lost to Nottingham Forest. We got destroyed by PSV. And I think because we were getting destroyed, essentially what Arne Slot did was he said, well, I am going to play 2 defensive midfielders. We are going to allow 1 fullback to go forward at a time. He essentially started playing, I wouldn't say like Jose Mourinho, because Jose Mourinho probably did it with uh, a little bit more of an attacking threat, I think, personally. But he basically went into a mode where his focus was clean sheets, clean sheets, clean sheets. And if we concede a goal, we'll concede one. And because we're liable to score 1 or 2, we are still in the game. Whereas previously we were conceding 3, we were conceding 3, we were conceding 3. And then you're not going to score 4, are you, to win the game? Okay, so he has gone extremely rigid. He's gone into his shell, essentially. And I think that really the challenge for Arne Slot is going to come when he tries to play expansive football. Okay, so if he tries to play expansive football, uh, I think the balance of the team is going to be dislodged. And what will happen is probably something similar to what happened to Gerard Houllier, because Gerard Houllier basically played on the break for about 3 years and didn't get anywhere near the title. So people said, well, you can't win the title like that. You're playing against Manchester United, who have flying wingers. You cannot play that defensively. And then when he opened up a bit, the gaps were created, and then they started losing games, and he never really got the balance back between the two. So I have a feeling this is what might happen to Arne Slot. Just to wrap things up, because I thought this would be maybe an 8-minute video, maybe a 10-minute video. I think we're up to about 15 minutes now. Just to wrap things up, for the remainder of the season, essentially these are the targets for Arne Slot. Now, he will be looking to continue this 10 game unbeaten run that many Liverpool fans are excited about, I think excessively excited about. Uh, so he will be looking to continue this unbeaten run. But at the same time, he will know the style of football is simply not good enough. So he will have to, at some point, open up the team. While he is doing that, he will have to secure a top four finish or a top five finish. I don't know what it is these days. But if he finishes inside the Champions League places, there is still a chance that he might keep his job. I think if he finishes outside the Champions League places, he will definitely lose his job. And I think if he wins the Champions League, he will definitely keep his job. So I think he will be extremely motivated to solve the problems that are there, whether he has the skills, whether he has the capabilities, the man management in order to uh, achieve these goals. We don't know. The style of play is still not established after 18 or 19 months at Anfield. And I think that is the most alarming part for me. If someone said to me, what is the style of play of Arne Slot? I can tell you that I wouldn't have a Scooby Doo. So I think that these are his targets: top four, possibly a Champions League run, and he needs to sort out the style of play. So Arsenal, well done. He got a point, but this is a very, very small step on a very, very long road for the Liverpool manager, in my opinion.